So a few random thoughts. Why is this pink? Because pink yarn is what I had at the time. See? That's the jacket I made last year because I knew I needed a warm winter house coat, and that's my warm winter house coat. It's cold in here. Oh well. So, had somebody ask me, we were talking about gaslighting because she's in a new relationship. And she made a comment that gaslighting can be subtle. I'm paraphrasing. Gaslighting can be subtle, and she doesn't know if she's catching it or not with the new relationship. She doesn't know if he's done the change yet. The change being the change from nice guy to not so nice guy. Because a lot of people, not just men, front load a relationship. It's a narcissist trick. They go out of their way, they do everything for you, they're amazing, you become dependent upon them, and then they start pulling back. And she's not sure if she's seeing the change yet. And my first comment was, how do you know there is a change? How do you know he's going to change and become abusive? You said, I'm trying to see this bruising on my eye. Yeah. Anyway, you said he was a nice guy, or he seemed like a nice guy, and his friends seem to think he's. How do you know he's going to start gaslighting you? How do you know you're not going to create the situation you're trying to prevent? And we've been talking about it for about 2 weeks now, off and on. And I don't think I'm getting through. There's an old adage, when all you have is a hammer, everything starts looking like a nail. When all you have is a gun, everything starts looking like a problem that a gun can solve. When all you've ever done is been abused, everything starts looking like abuse. So, how do you know when you're creating the problem? Other subject I started out wanting to talk about. That bruise is distracting. How about if I go like this and then oh no, because then I can see that bruise. Anemia. Yeah. There's a huge thing in the do-it-yourselfer maker community that frustrates me. Which is, I do it yourself and make out of economics as much as creativity, as much as art. But economics are a huge part. I got a bag of yarn from the Goodwill last year, and in that bag of yarn was this black yarn and this pink yarn and a bunch of other yarn. But I knew I had enough black and pink to make a 1950s style. It's kimono style. It's designed to do this. I made pockets, but I haven't sewn them on because I'm lazy. And it goes across. And can you see that jog? I have a back panel that can get sewn on if it drives me nuts enough. But I really hate sewing with yarn. So I don't sew in my threads. See my threads? I don't sew them in because I hate sewing in yarn. My hands don't work right for that. Or my dyslexia, I don't know. I can see everywhere I've ever sewn in a thread or a yarn, and I watch other people sew in yarn and you can't see it. It frustrates me. In the do-it-yourself and the make community, I will follow a link to a tutorial and I'll read through the tutorial and then I'll read the comments and everything and realize I ain't doing that tutorial. One of them recently, I used to make our kitchen scrubbies out of yarn. Cheap polyester yarn makes an amazing kitchen washcloth. And I used to do it all the time. Until I realized that, okay, it's a half hour's worth of work, maybe an hour if I'm slow, for something that's going to last 3 washing machines. So, sew up this yarn, or crochet up this yarn, make this washcloth. It gets used 4 or 5 times. It gets thrown in the washing machine. It gets used 4 or 5 times. It gets thrown in the washing machine. If it's your only scrubby, it's going to last a month. But the do-it-yourselfers, the crocheters and the knitters who do them, they do up 20 and 40 of them. And my original thought back in the day was, why are they making so many? Are they gifts? No, they're not durable. This is a great use of your scrap yarn. Yeah, because you're going to throw it away. And it ranks up there with Recycle This projects. Great recycling tip. Recycling tip of the day. Use your garbage bags to line your garbage can, and then you don't have to buy garbage bags. Yeah, that's not recycling this. That's still throwing this away. That's still throwing this away. The only way to effectively recycle this, two ways. One, you can make yarn out of it and crochet bed mats. Okay? Yoga mats, that kind of stuff. Rugs. Outdoor rugs, dog rugs. It's an okay use. If you give them to the homeless, understand that they're only going to keep it for 3 to 6 weeks and then they're going to throw it away. The other thing you can do with this is you can lie it flat on waxed paper, put wax paper on top, 5 or 6 layers, put wax paper on top and iron it and make a hard plastic cloth that you can then sew into bags and stuff. That's the only recyclable use of this. And you can stuff toys. You can, if you crochet toys, like the amaguris, you can use it as stuffing and it makes good stuffing. When David was little, I crocheted him up a whole bunch of balls and stuffed them with plastic bags. And people told me I was so ghetto, although we didn't use that phrase back then, but I was so ghetto for doing it. And I'm like, he's got a cool toy. He likes it. So, in the DIY crowd, in the make crowd, I get very, very frustrated by what gets called recycling when it's just a single-use remake. You know, use your plastic bottle and it only gets used once, and then it's thrown away. Yeah, it gets a second use out of it, and it keeps you from buying something else. I do agree with that, but it's not permanent. You know, it's really, really not. And making little washcloths just to have to throw them away is not permanent. I almost knocked my soda over. I'm back on the soda wagon. Somebody bought me soda because they had the bottles on sale for $1 each. And after years of being off of soda, I'm back on the soda wagon again, and it's really annoying. Okay. I have to clarify that because I will make snarky comments and people will take them as things. This goiter is causing throat problems. The easiest way to swallow when you're having throat problems is carbonated bubbles with a straw. So if you're choking on your food, if you're having problems swallowing, carbonated bubbles with a straw is your friend. Okay? It's what it was made for. This straws of all forms were designed for disabled people to be able to swallow easier. Old people to be able to swallow easier. Post-surgery to be able to swallow easier. It's a mobility aid, okay? Carbonated beverages were designed for help with the throat. They used to put baking soda in water, stir it up, and give it to you to drink. And then they decided, well, let's put some sugar syrup in that and see if we can't make it taste better. And from there we have sodas. Baking soda, water. Anyway, can't tell I feel a little strongly about that, can you? So yeah, I'm back on the sodas because I'm having problems swallowing. So I'm not actually blaming himself. So this is my latest dye project. This was a cream white or off-white yarn that first, I'm trying to do this without knocking it over and spilling it. First I dyed the red, one end of the skein. This was a skein. Then I dyed the blue, and I thought where the blue and the red met, I'd get purple. Do you see that cream white where it appears that they repelled each other? There is a little bit of purple here and there. Let me see if I can't move this better. Hold on. I have a big pot of water here from dyeing. I dye with Kool-Aid. I've mentioned that before. That's like a... wow. Okay, that's really heavy, and I can't put that there, so we will put it there. There we go. Don't fall. Okay. Much better. Usually when you put red over blue or blue over red, you get purple. Okay, grape purple, but grape Kool-Aid purple, but can you see where it looks like they repelled each other? Okay. It definitely overlapped in the pot. And yet there's very little purple in here. There's a few shades of this lilac right there. Just a few shades of almost purple. Other than that, for some reason, they decided to repel each other. So I did that. And that was the whole skein. I did one side red and one side blue. And then today, the same way I did the red and the blue, I mixed it up and then I did yellow. So now I have red, blue, green, orange, and yellow all on the same skein in a repeating pattern. I need to dump that water out. And there's some really nice teals in there where the dark blue overgreened. You see that? You can't see the color. Come on, light adjust. Light adjust. That right there is a really nice teal. Anyway, so it's going to get some more of this water out. It's going to look like that in a repeating colorway because there. Cool, huh? Raver bangs or raver braids. I used to make raver braids and sell them. You know, where the yeah, made a lot of money online selling these suckers, and all you gotta do is tie it up here in a couple of spots and sell it, and some teenager will buy it. We're gonna hang this up to dry for a bit. Will you hang? No, you won't. Will you hang like this? Yes, you will. Okay. Ha! Got it. So that's going to drip for a little while. Anyway, what am I going to do with it? I don't know. I want to be selling yarn. I do. But I don't want to sell on Etsy. I did Etsy for too long, and it's too negative of an experience. Hats off to the people who can do it. The poachers, the scammers. I didn't get my packages when you have a signed signature saying they did. The can you see where this is chipped? No, I can see where you dug at your fingernail with it. I don't like Etsy. I did Etsy regularly until the end of my last day job. And the getting to the post office, and it's just annoying. I did eBay. I did the pagan auctions. I had a little storefront. I don't like that if I'm a day late on shipping, they're going to give me a negative review, and that negative review is going to carry weight, and I have no say. That's my thought on that. I like little craft shows. I don't like big shows, but I like little craft shows and I like conventions. And neither one of those are going to happen for a while. I was all geared up for this summer. That was our whole thing. I spun for 2 years, all geared up. We were talking about it last December, that we would start with not the Christmas shows, we would wait for the spring shows. Yeah, didn't work. And now I don't know. I like making stuff. I do. So I will only dye in colors that I like. I will only spin colors that I like. I see no reason to spin somebody else's palette. I'll spin my own. Is that my palette? It's a little too bright. But I like the transitioning. And I'm probably going to make, hold on, I'll be right back. This is one skein of that yarn, okay? And it's one skein done in a graduated dye. I love this pattern for dyeing. Let me pull this. It hasn't been, when you knit, this is knit on a loom. When you knit, you're supposed to block your stuff afterwards. And if you block your stuff, then you can't change the size by pulling on it in one direction or the other. It locks it in. This has not been blocked because I'm lazy, because I'm tired, because I just haven't done it. So I'm pulling it from being long and curly on that direction to being out. The other thing you can do is put a border around it, and borders were designed to stabilize the dimensions of a knit project. Okay, so now I've pulled it out so that it's wider, and this whole thing is this graduated light to dark dye job, and that is one skein, the same as that one that I just showed, of yarn. So they make perfect, to me, throws. Colors clash. Throws. You see? Throws. Comes down your arm. So I will probably knit that up this way. The other thing with these is if you see the dimension, which is, haha, that wide, twin size bed. So it is touching the ground now, twin size bed. So 7 to 8 skeins makes a blanket at $15 a skein, which if I was selling on Etsy, I would say hand dyed, one of a kind, blah blah blah, and that $15 skein becomes a $30 skein, simply because I dyed it. Because apparently they can't dye their own. I don't know. So that's the dimensions. Because it's loom knit, this end is looser than this end, and that's just part of the loom. This is the cast on and this is the cast off. And it's an issue with it that it will always be that skirting. I probably wear it as a skirt. Anyway, I'm babbling. I like this pattern of dyeing. I was gonna go set it down, but I changed my mind. I like this pattern of dyeing, and I love dyeing yarn this gradient style. So if you're interested in gradient style, let me know. I can get the yarn. It's, let me find it. I've got an undyed skein still. Yes. This is my favorite working yarn. Okay. Can you read that? Lion Brand is a generic wool, or generic yarn. Fisherman's wool, and where is its content at? It's 8 ounces, 465 yards, 100% pure wool. I'm pretty sure it's Aran weight. Vertical color, lot, nature, ecru color, and it wants focus. It won't focus. It says number 4 medium. Wants a number 9 knitting needle. I can't read that. Anyway, it's a medium weight yarn. I like it. If you want some dyed up and you want to pay me a couple extra bucks, you can either buy me bare yarn anywhere you want and send it to me, and then I will send it to you, and you can pay me for the shipping and a couple extra bucks, not much, Literally a couple extra bucks plus shipping. And I'll make you yarn and ship it to you. Knit Picks is usually a good buy. Dharma Trading Company is usually a good buy. I can't afford them. This is sold at Michael's and at Joann's, and you get the 40% off coupon and you buy it, or it goes on sale. That's my preferred. If you want some yarn dyed up. I enjoy dyeing up yarn. If you want a shawl made out of some yarn dyed up, it's a few bucks extra because it takes me about 2 weeks to make a shawl. If you want a blanket, it takes a couple months. It's really expensive, but they're nice. I'm babbling. It's been over 20 minutes. Just thought I'd come in and say hi, talk, you know, get bored. I think that's all I have. I wanted to talk about how somebody who's been in multiple abusive relationships can't recognize a healthy one. Maybe can't have a healthy one. I don't know. And I wanted to talk about when people talk about recycling something, or this is a good use of, when they actually mean this is a way to not throw it directly in the trash. You can get one extra step out of it. That kind of stuff annoys me. That's about it. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.